brand new. I be acting new. I don't have no chill. Trap for what? What you trapping for? Hope it's for a meal. Pop off hoe, pop off little hoe. Let them know it's real. Oh yes, ma'am.
Hello,
Yes,
everybody. This is your favorite host, Duce Ambassador Cynthia Taylor, CT Connects, and welcome to the Duce Room. So here at CT Connects, we are a mansion full of many, many rooms. One of the rooms is the Duce Room, and welcoming to the Duce Room tonight, I have the beautiful Ray LeJune, artist, and she is going to be spending some time with us because guess what, y'all? She's much more than an artist. Hey, Ray.
Hey.
And yeah, y'all, how are y'all? Listen, Ray, thank y'all. Thank you so much for being here tonight and bringing Hi Ryse. I see you over there putting yourself on mute. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Hi Ryse is a producer, just like Ray, visionary. He does a lot of things behind the scenes, management, and they have so many cool things. I actually met Hi Ryse, Ray. I don't know if he had a chance to tell you, but I met him. Rock Nation was having an event. It wasn't really one of those publicized, kind of things. And so he and I happened to come across paths at that event, and instantaneously, when you have two creative masterminds, in the same energies, like, universal and cosmic stuff starts happening. So here we are. So Hi Ryse, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for just even sharing Ray, so openly with me. Ray, he's always told me, he said, Cynthia, there's everything that you need, Ray, is there. So thank you. Ray, tell us who you are, beautiful. Enough about what's going on. Who are you? Who is Ray LeJune?
Yes, well, Ray LeJune, the Black Beauty. I am an artist who happens to know how to do other things like produce. I also write music, and I'm just blossoming and letting myself create in whichever way I can create. I also love helping out in the community, with charity. That's my biggest thing, is giving back. I know people say that, but I'm about that life. Yeah, so that's me. We're working on a project now, my first official EP.
Okay.
Yeah, we're really working. And, my single, I want to drop it around the beginning of September, around my birthday.
So that's like right around the corner.
I know.
Yeah. Did you say your birthday is around then too? When is your birthday?
September 9th. Yeah.
That'll be a dope birthday present. Hint, hint, Hi Ryse. Hint, hint. No.
Yeah, so that's just a little surface of Ray LeJune, but I guess we'll get into the rest later. I want to open.
Nice. So what charity? I heard you say you like doing things with the charity. What's your favorite charity that you like to work with?
Well, right now I'm trying to establish my own. You have to make sure you do everything right. I just like giving out whatever I can. Like, I don't really have a favorite one, because it's like, how can you have a favorite charity? Like,
That's true. Wherever there's a need, if that's your heart, that's what happens. Yeah.
The last thing we did was 21 Savage had a back to school event here in Atlanta. I think that was last Sunday. He was giving out laptops, so I went to have a helping hand, give a helping hand in that. That was so much fun.
Yeah. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So now, Ray, I know I didn't tell you guys beforehand, but I want us, and I think Hi Ryse, I'll get you or your assistant to send me some music so we can actually put this in the segment. But Hi Ryse, I want you to see if you find something that you can play of Ray, so that way later on in the show we can kind of let everybody have a snippet of her true Black beauty as an artist and actually hear what she has going on. Because it's one thing to hear somebody say, yeah, I'm an artist, but then when they hear your music, you're like, oh, that sounds dope. Let me go see what she's really about,
Right.
Yeah. So Hi Ryse, tell us all about you now. You're in South Carolina, correct? Still in the Carolinas. So you get to slide on into the North Carolina sips, with the Duce team.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of Carolina shit, or stuff. Excuse me. I'm from Georgetown, South Carolina. It's a coastal It's on the coast, like on the Atlantic coast, between Myrtle Beach and Charleston. Um, shit. Music has been something that's been a part of my life. I'm an 80s baby, you know what I'm saying? So from 5 on up, it's like, that's just what it is. I'm a musician, been in band, all of that. Um, and yeah, I got into production. I was always a drummer since I was like 5, seriously or good enough since I was like, I would say 9 and 10. Um, that's when I got my first gig, playing in church when I was like 10. So I did that all the way until I graduated high school. I always looked up to like being an 80s baby, coming up in the golden era of hip hop and all of that. So the lyrics fascinated me, but I didn't know what they was talking about back then. I'm young, you know what I'm saying? But the music, like I felt the beats, I felt all of that. So that always drew my attention. I just never knew how to do it. But just studying, some of the legends. I don't want to leave anybody out, but like my personal influences, like the Just Blazes or the Pharrells, the Alchemists, but then the Quincy Jones.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's a wide. Ray knows like it's a wide spectrum of influences. Organized noise, I can't leave them out.
I was
Everything
waiting.
void. Everything I say will be void if I leave organized noise. So, just all of those influences actually tapping on things. That's what kind of got me into production and grinding. And, I'm leaving a lot of shit out, but, here we are.
What is it about people from church? We always end up like, doing music or beats, or your grandmama was dragging you to Sunday. It was just like, I noticed everybody that I've come across in the entertainment world, and I don't know if it's because I came up on the gospel side first, but even out of that, people like you, I grew up in the church, so did I, and even some of the most mastermindful people, like the gentleman who actually writes for her. I went to school. We grew up in church together, at once a summer, and now he's a musical producer, for her. And I'm like, you saying you feeling something with the music and stuff, I just believe it's that other, that other tapping in or coming on into the room. We kind of be flowing and operating, and call it what you want, but it's working. It's working. You have Ray sounding good. Ray, you're sounding good. Even, just everything that you bring to the table. I know whenever you see me posting up, I'm posting up my favorite song, Filthy Rich. I want to be filthy rich. I want to be, you know how that is. I keep posting the same song. I know you're tired of seeing me post it.
No, I'm not. That's what it's there for you to have fun with it. Yeah.
I love it. I love that song. And it's like I get an attitude too. Like that song come on and I start popping my neck. Like I'm talking to pop off. I'm like,
okay, that means it's working. For real.
For sure.
Yes.
So tell me, how did you guys, your two creative talents individually, who somehow by way of the universe have come together, and beautiful things, prosperous and successful things are happening for you as an artist. So how did you guys come together? How did y'all meet, and how did this relationship happen and occur and form to what we see today?
All right, so.
Who's going to tell the story? Wait, who's going to tell the story right?
Yeah. Y'all know somebody about to say some shit, so they be like, all right, so boom. So, this studio I was working out of in Columbia, South Carolina at the time, which is now, like a top studio in the Southeast because of, my little, put my little 2 cents when I was there. I was there for 3 years, but that's when I met Ray at. It's called V12 Studios. But this studio was kind of like I mean, the Jetsons came out of this studio. The Nico Babies came out of this studio. These are multi-platinum producers now. You know what I'm saying? So all of these are like my, I don't want to call them my young homeboys, but they my young boys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just that creative environment. So it was just one fateful day in the universe. I'm in the studio. We called it like the Carter from like Nino Brown. So like, you know, we cooking up. But so we was in the producer room called the Carter, and Ray just walked in one day and was saying what she was looking for. I'm pretty sure I'm leaving out some parts, but it's instantly it was like a mutual understanding, like on the same wavelength either. Like this is my first time ever meeting, and then like that day, this was like 5 years ago. But from that day, it's just grown into, you know, and I feel like it's still only the beginning, but I knew we had it from the jump. Like she wasn't just like a chick that does music or a chick that raps or a chick that sings. She's an artist, like overall. I also want to point out, like, she produces for real. Like a lot of everything you've heard from her, she'd be like, nah, that's cool. Take that out, put this in, or
Mm.
the melody, be like, play this like this, or you know, just whatever she's gonna be actually orchestrating her sound how she wants it. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to note that too. But I mean,
Oh.
it was just something right away. Like, we just locked in. We just locked in. Jump.
And Ray, with you being, like you said, a writer, a visionary, a producer, you know, all of that above, how was that for you, you know, with so much insight and intuitive on your own? How has that process been, just kind of handing over certain aspects of, you know, the creative development parts of your music to Ryse? What has that been like? Did you have someone in his position before him, and he was coming in after a bad experience or something? Or like, how did, you know, what made you say, hey, this is what I need right now?
Right place at the right time. Yes, so I was needing someone to be in Columbia. Well, John Ryan, shout out to John Ryan. He was producing with me, and he moved to Atlanta. So I'm very hands-on. I know we're in a climate now where a lot of things have to be done, you know, over the computer, over phone, but naturally I'm like hands-on. So I wanted to have someone that was in Columbia with me as well, like very close. We get stuff done in person. So Ryse happened to be the right place at the right time, and he spoke my foreign language that it's hard for people to understand when I'm explaining stuff, but he gets it like as soon as I say it. So that's automatic. Like when the vibes are right, when you guys speak the same language and you have the same passion, then it's like, you know, it works itself out. So that's how that happened with us linking up, right? So the producing part, I didn't realize I was doing the production until he was like, you know what this is called? You know, you gotta like executive producer.
When she says she's hands-on, Ray is literally from the the most classic music we could think of. All of the artists was in the room. Sometimes the entire band was in the room, depending on if we going back to like Motown. We had just let the tape run, and we just gonna groove until we figure it out. But that's how Ray's process is, from the tap, the very first high to the final mix bounce out. She's like a part of her own process.
Yes.
That's dope. That's dope. So I would even imagine the creative aspect, you know, I don't know, is it easier because you have so much to put in? So instead of one person having to try to hear something on their own, or, you know, this is like this, like you kind of have each other, I would imagine, to kind of bounce off of, and, you know, which makes sense because it's only been 5 years. And, you know, I'm just looking at who you are today, you know, and the things that I even admire about you as a person, but as also your career, you know, like you said, Ryse, some people say this is what I do, but I've always felt that you can tell a tree by its fruit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we really be in there. You're really being there. The thing is, it's like we don't do it. It's not even for like a clout or that comes with the territory or financial gain. But it's really just trying to get out what's inside of you. And a lot of the times, I think that I can't speak for him. But I'm sure he feels the same way. We started being hands-on because it's hard to rely on somebody else to do it. So it's like I do it.
Tell the truth.
You can paint your picture. Like, well, nobody can really do
Right.
that. So shout out to all the artists that's in it, doing it. I'm not knocking the ones that don't. It's just that extra oomph you got to get out. The only way you can get out is if you do it yourself. So I think that's where we meet.
Big facts. Because I still get people, and one thing that I think I have a problem with is, a lot of people will see, and say, okay, I'm an artist, I need a manager, but they don't understand, like right now, I even call myself, I'm a consultant, because the things that I'm talking to with a lot of the artists, especially before COVID, and we were doing showcases and I was hosting and things like that, I had to help them understand you need something to manage. So you don't really need a manager. You need someone that can help you figure out how to move, how to navigate, and then even help you formulate the way you think about these moves. Because why would you go? And this is what made me really pull back, so shout out to the managers that's out there and the producers that still, have hope, because I have lost so much hope because, it's like an artist will come to me and say, what should I do? I want to put this on the radio, or I want to put this over there. And I'm like, okay, well, you would save, you would do better by, putting marketing money here, as opposed to paying somebody $300 just to listen to your music. And just to say, I had, like you said, clout situation. I had so-and-so listen to my music. They just give somebody $300. And I'm like, why am I spending my time talking to you? It's like going to the dentist and they're like, I got to take out your wisdom tooth. And you're going to tell them, no, you don't. You got to take out the one over here. Like, why even come to me in the first place? So I do, you have to have an open mind when it comes to the artist, producer, management. There's so many people that you're dealing with, you're talking to, things that you need, so how do you even balance all of that, Ray, between those demands and family and then just being who you are with charities? How do you not lose who Ray is?
I smoke weed. No, like seriously. Meditation, that's where you have to get grounded and centered. I was just talking to Ayana. You're going to meet her, though. I was just talking to her about when you feel rocky, that's where the spirituality comes into place, where you can get centered, you can breathe your way through it, because nothing is going to be easy. The only thing that is consistent is change. So when you're going through these changes or you're like spread thin, you just have to breathe through it. You know what I mean? It keeps you focused. It's really that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah. So tell me about this new EP that you're working on. You got a name for it yet? What's the vibe like?
You guys have to stay posted. It's gonna be worth the wait.
Okay.
I've been working on a lot of this music. Is probably like 5 years old. Some of it is.
Oh, wow.
And it takes time to make sure that you're being intentional and to make sure that it's classic. So if you drop it today or you drop it 5 years from now, it's still fire. I'm just very intentional with this project. So you're going to love it.
I'm sure I will. I've loved everything else that you guys have done. I can't say that there's been one track that I haven't enjoyed from you. So for all of our weekend sippers, everybody that's been following the podcast, thank you. But definitely check out the people that come up here. Ray is definitely something to be reckoned with. She is the Black Beauty. You'll have to make sure that you continue to follow her, watch what High Rise have going on. I didn't say this, but High Rise, you're also part of the Coalition DJs, right?
Yeah. I do a little bit of that, but yeah.
So what does that mean? I mean, what's going on with that, like, sir? Yeah, you see how Ray and I are looking at you right now.
Yeah. So boom. So Yes, I am a member of Coalition DJs. I am on the kind of like on the executive side of things. I'm not personally a DJ, but yeah, but yeah, you know.
No
Um,
doubt. So,
yeah. So
Yeah.
with being a member of Coalition though, like definitely shout out to Big X, DJ Funky, Long Live Nando. You know what I'm saying, everything. But that's been a great experience thus far. That's been going on 4 years now. I guess this year's 4 years.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and just kind of understanding, even though in this fast paced, like it's streaming everything. Like we're at the point where a CD player is almost obsolete in the car. Everything is just
So
streaming.
true.
But just actually understanding, because I actually threw that at one point, like, thinking that the DJs didn't matter, but the DJs have always mattered and always will matter, because it's just a certain kind of, you know. So
mhm.
I'm like the liaison from. I understand both sides of everything that's going on for the most part, and
Yeah.
that's what I've learned just in the few years of being in the coalition family, and it comes with a lot of interesting things, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's cool. It's like I think we're in 21 major markets nationwide, all the way from Cali
That's
to
impressive.
Miami. Um, you know, so it's cool. But yeah, shout out to the coalition.
They
What
out here.
kind of, you say about Ray?
They're deep as hell. They out here.
Yeah,
I'm seeing. I saw, what was the last event I think you guys did before the COVID outbreak? It was like huge. Was it what anniversary I believe you guys had?
yeah. The Atlanta chapter, like I said, once again, shout out to X Funky, Kool Aid, all the whole squad. But
Yeah.
that's like the mecca, the first chapter. So every January on MLK weekend is the anniversary for all of the coalition chapters from California, Detroit, DMV area, across the country. We all have our anniversary when they started it, you know, on MLK weekend. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's where it gets a little interesting at.
What kind of advice would, well, I'm gonna ask you first, Ray. What kind of advice would you give to, say, the young, you know, rap artist, female of color, who is possibly watching this, and then going back and looking at your story, looking at your Instagram and Facebook, and just kind of seeing how you move? What best advice would you give to someone, maybe a little girl, who's even 14 or something? Maybe not, because this is the Do Say podcast, so we'll at least say she's 21. But what would you say to them as far as advice goes, if they are just really finding out that this is who they are? Like you said, you didn't realize that you were even a producer until you got to certain elements.
Mhm. Well, don't try to keep up with the trend. That's like that's the biggest thing. Don't try to keep up with the trend. You don't want to lose yourself in the midst of trying to create. The purpose is to create what's in you, not try to copy what's outside of you. So
Back.
that's really the main thing. Everything else will fall into place if you just stick to that. And quality, that's all relative. Different people think different about quality, what that is to them, but everything else will fall into place if you just stay authentic and true to what's inside of you.
Yeah.
Um, don't move too fast if you don't have to. I understand there's different techniques for different situations. If you want to be with
Yeah.
the trendy stuff, you might have to move fast because you're on that trendy. It's different situations for different uh, projects, I guess, and different people. But
Yeah.
yeah,
What do y'all
just
think about that whole Tory Lanez, and what is your opinion on that?
Uh,
Y'all been watching any of that? Y'all been following up, keeping up?
The dub.
Ooh. That's a spicy situation that no one knows the
And
real
that's the thing,
story.
it's like I really try to stay out of other people's business, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I love Meg. Like, like the young guy that I work with EMG Young Prophet, he's opened up her twice. I haven't officially met her or hung out with her crew, but just hearing how they've said she's moved. But even like I said, like with you, the music, just as an artist, like I'm like, yeah, like that's Meg. How you like T.I. said, how you gonna shoot her in a bikini though? Like for real. Like I'm just thought, and I thought about that because you said sometimes, as women, I'm not saying that she moved too fast, but sometimes we end up as women in situations, and because it's the industry or because you're pretty, like I even found myself trying to help some other young girls the other day. Like, don't ever find yourself in a situation where you're uncomfortable. Like, and I give mad love to Meg because, I think she still handled herself like a queen. I really do. I believe that she really, have represented herself well throughout all of this, like you said, confusion. But if there's one point that I wanted to tag along with what you were saying, Ray, about not losing yourself, yes, like, stay true to who you are. Make sure that if you are, wanting to hang out, be out, with different people, different atmospheres, if you feel uncomfortable, then you make sure that you are prepared to handle yourself to get yourself out of that situation because, life is precious. People, they get mad, they drunk, you don't know what they done smoked or drank or whatever, and they get mad because you walk in and you smell good. You just, you don't know. So absolutely. I think that's great advice, across the board, whatever the situation is.
Yeah, so it's this every relationship is a reflection of yourself, first of all. So a lot of the times people's behavior is right in front of your face. We just tend to sweep it under the rug.
You gotta believe them.
Yeah, you gotta believe when people show you who they are. You gotta believe them. And I'm sure, I can't really say because I wasn't there, but what I do know is I'm pretty sure that type of behavior didn't just come out of nowhere. Signs were probably already there of impulsiveness and things like that. And you cannot underestimate people, even if you're in love with them. You just,
Facts.
or if they're your friend or your boyfriend or your mom, you can't underestimate people. So I'm the queen of like keeping my distance. I don't care blood thicker than water, none of that. If I see something's crazy, I have to protect my peace. So I would say, girl, about that situation itself, I am so in awe of her strength because from what I understand, she doesn't have her mother, her father here.
Yeah.
So that's inspiring in itself that she can just have her head held high and like stay focused. And
We probably have to get a banger from her. Like as soon as people go through something real in life, then they put out a hit.
Transmute that energy real quick. She gonna come crazy with it too. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, I would hope so for healing reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what she would do. Yeah, I'll be looking forward to anything she puts out. I love her.
Me too. So definitely want to wish her the best. And, we always talk about, here on the podcast, I've had an array of different, guests, but just kind of going back to what we were talking about, like with Ryse saying, even, there's different avenues and different things that he's touching and doing. And even from a man's perspective, one thing that I like about, some of the groups that I see are going on between our brothers, is because they can even be there for each other. They can talk to each other because mental health is so real, especially in the African American community. It's something, like you said, that's always swept under the rug. If something happened in the family, we're not going to address it. We're not going to talk about it. And even when it comes to men, we as, queens, sometimes you may not have been raised to understand how a man can still have emotions. So we can't talk to them any kind of way. We can't, so it's a whole smorgasbord of things. And I believe that as a culture, as a community, whether it's hip hop, whether you're in pop, whatever, your artistic gift is, I believe that that's part of our purpose, to be the example, not just talk about what it should be, but to actually, be that example. And Ray, when I look at you, when I look at Ryse, I see real examples,
I'm human now. I'll be fucking up too sometimes.
But see, that's an example. But we need to see people that's not perfect though. Like, you know, like that's the thing. Because I remember growing up, it was everybody was straight up and down. You didn't cuss, you didn't drink, you didn't smoke, you didn't dip, you didn't chew. You know, everything was just straight up and down. But then you get or grow up and you see that people are human. And then you see, oh, you're still human, but you still smiling. You're still human, but you still are productive. You're still human, but you still can manage and have good relationships. People need to see that example. You know, it just depends on, you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be the fact that you're doing everything right. It's just the example, you know.
The accountability is very important. It is very important. I think I made a post the other day. It was like, healing in isolation is just as important as healing with the community. I think that it's generational and it needs to be addressed and people held accountable. So it's not about being perfect. It's about awareness of what's going on to try to at least address it, you know?
Perfect. Exactly. Well, y'all, we're going to go ahead and switch gears real fast. And I want to share with you our Do Say Sip of the Week. So CT Connects, as I mentioned, is a mansion full of many, many rooms. And so welcome to our Do Say room once again. While we're in the Do Say room, we like to provide you with a special sip of the weekend, something that you can get, hang out, have a good time, get on your back porch, your deck, or your balcony, light you one good one up, you know, and then have your nice little sip. So the sip of the weekend is the Douce Black Magic. All right. The Douce Black Magic includes the ingredients of Douce VSOP cognac. You want 1.5 parts. You want 1 part St. Germain elderflower liqueur. You also want 1/2 part fresh lemon juice. You want 4 fresh blackberries. I love blackberries. You like blackberries, right?
I'm trying to take notes. I'm going to add.
And so we got some mint leaves up in there and then a splash of club soda. You're going to stir that up and have you a little bit of black magic, okay? So we're going to have those ingredients and everything. You're probably looking at it right on your screen right now. Make sure to go out and make you a few, you know, have some for us, all right? So Ray, Ryse, thank y'all so much for just sharing with me your time and your advice and tips for artists. And so as we're closing out, Ryse, where can everyone find you? Any producers that's up and coming? You know, I know people are always looking at what I have going on and then actually supporting the movement. So how can they find you?
On everything, on all platforms, Ryse, HIGHRYSE, on everything.
On everything. On everything. All right. So y'all heard it from Ryse and Ray LeJune. Once again, tell us about this EP, how we need to keep up with you, and where to find you.
Yes, I will be dropping a single this fall, early September, the EP this fall. You can follow me on all social media platforms at _Black Beauty. I mean, it's Ray LeJune, the Black Beauty, but my handles are _Black Beauty for Twitter, Facebook. What else? No, not Facebook. Twitter, Instagram. Yes. I have to think about that.
I get it. There's so many social media platforms out there right now. Like, and I hate when new ones come because I'm like, dang it, that's a new one I got to learn, you know. Right. But yes, y'all hear where to find her. Look at her. She is the Black Beauty. She is Ray LeJune. You're sitting up here today with us with Ryse and my girl, myself, CT Connects. Y'all, thank you so much. You can continue to find other videos, other podcasts that we have by going to CT Connects NC on Facebook, and on YouTube, the channel is CT Connects. Make sure that you're following. Make sure that you subscribe. We have everybody's information here in the captions. Please, y'all, go follow them, support. Keep a lookout for that new single EP coming out early fall. Ray LeJune, happy early birthday, September 9th. I won't forget.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so, y'all, thank you so very much for being a part of the Douce room with us tonight. I appreciate you so much. Love and blessings to both of you.
No problem. Thank you, Cynthia. And thank
All
you.
right, y'all. Yes, and thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Well, y'all, make sure to tune in with us next Friday, and we have some really, really awesome things in store for you. I will make sure to keep you posted, and make sure you also go to CT Connects NC on Facebook for our next week's pop-up room. All right, y'all have a blessed one. Bye.
So brand new, I be acting new. I don't have no chill. Trap for what? What you trapping for? Hope it's for a meal. Pop off hoe, pop off little hoe. Let them know it's real. Oh yes ma'am, yes I am that bitch. Tryna get filthy rich. I'm tryna get filthy rich. I'm tryna get all shit. He give me that moolah la. He give me all that shit. I'm tryna get filthy rich. I'm tryna get all shit. He give me that moolah la. He give me all that shit. I know you see me coming. Back of the lat, them speakers bumping. Hell on the cat, I feel it humming. Feeling myself while I'm thumbing through these hundreds. I'm steady mashing, so clean off of that cash flow when I'm chasing dirty money. Go beast mode on that bankroll, your man ain't really rich. Selling ass for clout, got you bitches looking funny. I ain't got no money, I'm broke, baby, like money. Make it brand new, I be acting new. I don't have no chill. Trap for what? What you trapping for? Hope it's for a meal. Pop off hoe, pop off little hoe. Let them know it's real. Oh yes ma'am, yes I am that bitch. Tryna get filthy rich. I'm tryna get filthy rich. I'm tryna get all shit. He give me that moolah la. He give me all that shit. I'm tryna get filthy rich. I'm tryna get all shit. He give me that moolah la. He give me all